We are live now, sir.
Can we see the number of people or we can't yet?
You can see in the top right corner. 4 people are watching it right now.
Right. Maybe I honestly can't. If you can just help me, when a few people have joined, I'll start the introductions.
Okay, sir. So it is visible. There is an icon of eye uh, on the left corner. Like it's representing the number of people who are watching it right now. So there are 6 people who are watching it right now.
Fair, fair. Just we'll start in 5 minutes. No issues. Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, sir. Okay. Sir, actually, it is recorded on YouTube and Facebook also. So we can start right now, and later on, people can also watch it.
Okay, I'll start. Hi guys. Welcome to the Eat Right and Stay Healthy during COVID-19. We are Sova Health, a nutrition app that helps people with nutritional recommendation. The panel here consists of Max Kushner from Germany. He is our chief scientific officer. So Max is the co-founder at Sova Health, a health tech startup based in Singapore and India. Sova uses tech to help patients manage chronic diseases with the power of personalized nutrition. He holds a master in human genomics and immunology from Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. Today, Max leads a team of scientists, developers, and nutrition experts to bring the power of evidence based personalized nutrition in India. Madhura is a clinical nutritionist at Sova Health. She has completed her master's in dietetic and applied nutrition from Manipal University and is certified diabetes educator. She strongly believes that eating healthy should not be a habit but a lifestyle change. Over to you, Max.
Thank you, Pavid. Thank you for the intro. We can get right to it. Let me just share my screen and then we can get started. Okay. Pavid, are we good to go?
Yes, I can see it, Max.
Super. Thanks to you, everybody who's joined and everybody who'll be watching the recording. My name is Max Kushner, as stated, and today I'll be talking to you about how to eat right and stay safe during COVID-19. And we're going to talk a bit about what immunity really means. What do we mean when we talk about immunity? Why is that important in the context of the current pandemic? And then Madhura will contribute from her knowledge about different nutrients that can help our immunity to either deal with an infection or actually recover from it. And then finally, we're going to talk just a bit about what we do at Sova. So I hope everybody have a good session and we can get right to it. So what is immunity? Immunity is our body's ability to identify and deal with foreign invaders that invade our body or to excrete certain elements in our body that go rogue, for example, a cancer cell. And there's many different organs that take part in the immune system. There's the lymph nodes and the thymus and the spleen, the bone marrow who makes the white blood cells, and there's over 150 different types of cells that are actually participating in the immune response. Now, there's two kinds of immunity in our bodies. There's the innate immunity and the adaptive immunity. And today we're going to be talking more about the adaptive part, which is the part that is able to identify and learn and recognize new types of disease generating particles or pathogens, as we call them in professional terms, and keep us healthy. And what can we do to keep our immune system healthy as well, so that it can keep us healthy? So, the biggest organ in the immune system is actually the skin, right? Because the skin actually um, helps our body to acts as a natural barrier so that no bugs can basically invade our body. And the skin has many different um, mechanisms to do that. There are certain types of immune cells that live on the skin. There's certain types of chemicals that the skin produces so that bacteria cannot and viruses cannot invade our body. But the most important part that I want to tell you about this is that whenever we get sick, there's a war going on with our body. And everybody knows that to win a war, you really have to have a strong army. But what people don't often talk about is that in war, in every war, there's a lot of collateral damage, right? Whenever we fight a war, innocents get hurt around us, right? Cities get burned. So if you could think about this castle like our body, right? The body also needs to be strong to withstand, this war that's going to go on in our body if we, God forbid, contract an infection. So it's not only important to have a strong body, a strong immune system, but it's also important to have a strong body that can deal with that. And here's a study to exemplify just what I'm saying. So this is a study that was done in Italy in 2020, just at the height of the pandemic there. And what the researchers did here is they actually took all of the people who unfortunately died due to a COVID-19 infection and said, okay, what do these people have in common? And the thing that these people had in common is that 96% of them had at least one chronic disease with an average of 3.4 chronic diseases per person. And the culprits, the chronic diseases that were the most lethal in the context of that infection are presented on the screen. So as you can see, hypertension and type 2 diabetes were the two main leading reasons for COVID-19 deaths. And we all know that also in India right now, right? These are the two most common chronic conditions, often coming also in combination, and that we have in India today. So it's very important to either manage those diseases correctly or to avoid them altogether, so that not only our immune system can fight the virus, but actually our body can withstand it. And this is the main point that I want to leave you with today. And now I'll give some time to Madura to speak about, okay, so then how can we keep our body and immune system healthy? And what can we do at home to manage this better?
Hi everyone, good morning. Myself Madhura Purulkar, and today I'll be highlighting a little bit about nutrition and immunity. I think from the time COVID has hit us, nutrition and immunity has been a big highlight. It's been a hype. Before that, I think no one was that keen interested about what immunity is, or taking more keen interest about any kada or any specific food. But there is a lot of research and a lot of foods, a lot of nutrients that actually have a great important role in maintaining and building up your immune system. So today there'll be the nutrient that I'll be talking about is vitamin C. Yes. Vitamin C is also called as ascorbic acid. It is a water-soluble vitamin. It has antioxidant properties that help to control inflammation. If you remember, Max just showed us a picture about the castle. That's the time there's a lot of inflammation that's actually happening in your body. And vitamin C being an antioxidant, what normally happens during an inflammation, whether it's because of being affected with some pollution or some toxic elements, there are all these free radicals that are being formed in the body. These free radicals are those hyper kids when they're given sugar, hyperactive, just roaming and destroying a lot of things in the body. Vitamin C being an antioxidant, they actually neutralize these free radicals. So this is what vitamin C does, having antioxidant properties. It neutralizes all the free radicals, all the inflammation, all the damage that has been caused because of all these elements. Or shave. We have forgotten to put the neem I used to put tomatoes once upon a time to make your poha enriched because that's how you add the vitamin C to your natural poha coming in. Your kala chana chaat, what we do, you squeeze a little bit of lime. Your sprouts has always been put a little bit of lime again. So I think this has been a tradition since a very, very long time, which we are now forgetting. But I think the best source for all the vegetarians out there is going to be whenever you're having an non-heme iron-rich food, to always compare it with the vitamin C-rich food to enhance his normal daily requirement. For all the non-vegetarians, chicken, organ meat, red meat, eggs are good source of iron coming in. Now, did you know egg is one of a complete food? It has all the nutrient except one, because I think we have all heard Amitabh Bachchan once upon a time there was an ad coming in Sunday ho ya Monday roj khao ande, because yes, that egg is a complete food, but the only nutrient that's missing is vitamin C. So other than that, egg is a complete food. I think that's why kids are being told every time you tell a kid eat an egg every day, it's okay, no problem. But we'll rather go for junky meals rather than eating a healthy food. So yes, these are some of the foods for iron. Max, next slide. Then we have this gut microbiome. Now, inside our whole gut, there's a small community which is not actually too small, but there are millions of chotu microorganisms that actually stay there, which have a very important role to play in your immune system again. Now, this gut microbiome is actually even. Have you ever noticed that when your gut is upset, even you're upset? Even you're moody, even you're cranky, because there is this hormone called as serotonin, the happy hormone, which has actually been produced by your gut microbiome. So there are a lot of foods that actually help in managing the gut microbiome. We have the prebiotics and the probiotics. Max, next slide. Now, what are these prebiotics and probiotics? Prebiotics happen to be the food for the gut microbiome. So, for the gut microbiome, the chotu microorganism in your gut to develop and grow, they need food. And what is this food? It's actually the fiber in this food that is needed for the gut microbiome to grow. So, we have oats, we have kanda, we have garlic, we have bananas, we have wheat bran, some of the good prebiotics coming in. And then we have probiotics. Now, what are probiotics? These are foods that actually have the natural cultural microorganisms that are needed for enhancing the totu family in your gut. We have curds, we have kimchi, we have tem, but I think we have forgotten our South Indian dishes, the fermented idli, dosas, uttapam coming in, which are again filled with probiotics. We have our kulchas and bhaturas again coming in filled with probiotics. I think we can always go and we go to these happy superfoods all the time rather than going and investing in those chotu cartons that have been said that oh my god they're filled with probiotics, but we have forgotten our normal dahi and buttermilk is also good source of probiotics coming in. And yes, I hand it over to Max now. He'll have something to say more. Thank you.
Thank you, Madura, for educating us on how to eat better at home. I just want to have a brief conversation about what we do at Sova Health. So, at Sova, we are a startup that helps people manage or prevent chronic disease with nutrition. Um, and the premise here is that chronic disease is caused by very, very small changes, very small habits, poor habits that we're doing at home for many days, and that contributes for disease to develop. For example, diabetes, it doesn't come in one day. It takes many years to develop. It has a state that precedes this. It's a very long state. It's called prediabetes, where diabetes can actually be reversed and cured. And this is a result of us, having that too late of a dinner, the too large of a snack, that extra gulab jamun that we all know is bad, but most people don't realize how much. So what we do at Sova is we actually help people manage their conditions by starting to eat right and getting off medication as much as possible, so that nutrition becomes the therapy for their disease rather than the allopathy, or it complements the allopathy. And this is one case of a person we've helped. This is Dipro. Dipro is a marketing professional, mid-management, works very, very hard. And he came to us because he had a funky result on his annual health checkup, right? He had some liver parameters that were elevated. We've been able to send him to the doctor and get him diagnosed. He had grade 2 fatty liver, which is a progressive liver disease that ends in liver cirrhosis or cancer, or these people need a transplant. It's quite a common condition in India. More than 10% of Indians are actually affected by this. The issue with this is that it has no symptoms until it's really too late. So it was very, very important to do this check and to understand, okay, I have an issue. How do I deal with it now? So high cholesterol, if you have a test that you have high cholesterol and very high cholesterol, elevated liver enzymes, high triglycerides, maybe if you're diabetic, you're at risk for this. And it can be reversed and can actually be cured just by eating right. And in just 3 months, we were able to help Dipro to lose just under 10 kgs, to improve his cholesterol drastically, and of course to reverse his fatty liver. So when they did an ultrasound, his liver actually looked fat free. Now, the way we do it is we start by getting a very detailed metabolic profile of our patients, which means that you would answer a 60-70 question questionnaire, and our team would construct and curate a personalized blood panel for you to check all of these conditions. For example, if we're now talking to the I guess there's many accountants in the crowd today. You guys work in an office, right? So probably your vitamin D status is not going to be very good. If you have history of chronic disease, right, we're going to check your blood sugars, we're going to check your lipids, we're going to really make sure that we get everything covered, and that there's no underlying condition that's going to hinder our recommendations with food. Because if you have a metabolic disease or prone to a metabolic disease, it doesn't matter how many diets you do. If you don't know the root cause of your condition, nothing's going to really work. And so this is what we start with. And then we also understand that all of what we're seeing on your blood test, or if people want to come and just lose weight, we understand that it's not coming from a vacuum. It's from something that these people are doing at home. So we would have a nutritionist assigned that is a highly trained professional, and to actually understand what are the habits that this person is doing at home that are driving this condition, right? And we're only going to change that because what we do is we understand that most people, whatever they're doing at home, is actually quite okay. 80% of it is okay. It's that 20% that's causing all the issues there, and we don't want to impose anything. Therefore, we don't have any diet charts on our program. We actually take the time to learn what you're doing at home and help you change your specific habits. There's no fad diets, there's no keto, there's no fasting. Everybody's happy and eating all the time, and nobody's hungry on this program because we give science-based recommendations and not the last fad. And of course, the program is supervised by physicians to make sure that no harm is done um, throughout our recommendations. And every 3 months, we would be testing. We would having a blood test again to make sure that whatever vitamins we prescribe, they're absorbing, they're going in. Whatever medical issues we identify as goals, those parameters are getting to check. And this is how we keep ourselves checks. And there's no guessing. There's no scope for guessing. We really know we're helping people improve. And today we have a special offer for the participants of this session. There's a 40% discount on all of our program, exclusively for the CA members, and you can join our trial. Also, it's a 2-week trial for just 1,000 rupees. That includes a blood test, that includes consultations with nutritionists, so that you can come and experience how our program works, and see whether that is relevant for you. Thank you very much for the session. If you have any questions, you can post them in the chat, and then Pavit will be very kind and help us answer those. I'm sure many people watching this have questions about what can I specifically do? Is this food good for me? So you have a nutritionist and a scientist on board that can answer just that. So please feel free and don't be shy and just post your question in the chat, and Madhur and I will be very, very happy to take it up and give you the answer. So Pavit, can you see if something's came over during our call?
No questions yet, Max.
Okay, let's give a few moments, and if not, we're going to wrap up. Okay, do we have someone on the YouTube link? Mavia, maybe you can help us?
Yeah. I request all the viewers, if you have any questions, so you can just comment in the comment box and our expert will answer you. There are no
Okay.
questions yet.
Okay, then we can wrap this one up. Thank you very much. Oh. I think we do have one. How to overcome iron deficiency. Okay, Madura, I think this is your part.
Okay, so when it comes to iron deficiency, it depends what levels are. If they are very, very low, definitely your doctor is going to prescribe you some pills, iron pills. But if you're at the borders, and if you're a non-vegetarian, do indulge in having non-vegetarian foods, keeping in mind you don't have any other conditions along with it. So if it's just an iron deficiency, definitely you can start including chicken, organ meats, and fish and eggs coming in. If you are a vegetarian, every day there is a food called as halim, garden cress seeds, beautiful source of iron coming in. So I think we all have heard about dinka laddu, halim ka laddu coming in. So if you're someone who's a vegetarian, having a halim laddu with jaggery and ghee is a beautiful option for iron people who have iron deficiencies. Again, if you don't have any other issues along with it, if you're a diabetic, I'm not going to say go and have a halim ka laddu because it's jaggery and ghee loaded. But if you're just someone who's just having iron deficiency, definitely a halim laddu
Mm.
coming in, or a sprout chaat coming in, or maybe kala chana soup coming in, apna poha. These are some beautiful options for the vegetarians to start having iron rich food.
Yeah, I just want to mention that in terms of our program as well, we would check all of these parameters, right? We would check, for example, if you're a non-vegetarian that has an iron deficiency that you know of, and you need to start eating organ meat or ladus, but you also have high cholesterol, that's going to do more harm than good, right? So we need to really balance out and get the food that the specific person needs. Another thing you can do as a vegetarian, I think very relevant for a lot of Indians, is to add some acidic element, as Madhura mentioned, when you're having iron. So, for example, leafy greens are a very, very good source of iron. So, when you're having your palak paneers, right, squeeze a lemon on top. That's going to help your iron to go in and to be absorbed. Kailash is asking about fatty liver, what to do. Join our program. We're experts in that. Um, Fatty liver is a condition where the liver is overburdened by either just environment. It means that you're having food that's not very healthy and your liver is having a hard time dealing with it, or it's always a manifestation of a metabolism that can't really deal with with the intake, right? So it can be diabetics are much more prone for fatty liver, but whatever you do, don't ignore it, because fatty liver is a progressive disease that can progress to liver cancer and cirrhosis, and it is reversible until a certain point, right? So there's grading. To do an ultrasound and there's grading, and if you don't if you don't take care of it now, the complications are quite severe. On our program, we are very good in reversing fatty liver because we can actually see what you're having at home and tell you, okay, this is good and this is not good. And we've had great success with that in the past, and Madura also personally, I think. You've dealt with a few of those cases. Next question we're having is how to overcome vitamin B12 deficiency. Yeah, so vitamin B12 only comes from animal sources. For all the lacto-vegetarians in the crowd, paneer and milk don't usually cut it. For all of the people that are willing to have an egg or two, that is actually a great source. 2, 3 eggs per week would probably set you up. Very, very common deficiency we're seeing in vegetarians. And in that case, an oral supplement would probably do the trick. I don't think there's any other way around it, because if you're a vegetarian, it's just not coming from your food. You have to supplement. Let's see. Any fruits and vegetables for iron deficiency for veggies? Yes, I think Madura has actually mentioned quite a few. Any leafy green, palak, mint is a very, very good source. So having mint chutney in the morning. Um,
There's
what else?
drumstick
How
also. Drumsticks are a
drumstick?
beautiful source of iron. So
Talaga.
drumstick sambar, drumstick leaves in your parathas, just go for it.
Okay, there's a question about PCOD, also a condition we deal with quite well. We actually have a PCOD program that has a prominent gynecologist overseeing it, and there are nutritionists that are specially trained to deal with this use case. So, just very briefly, PCOD is a condition that affects women during reproductive age. Um, there's basically a hormonal imbalance. There's too many male hormones in these people, and that interferes with the natural cycles of the body. Therefore, there's excessive hair growth on certain parts of the body. There's discolorations, there's acne, and there's amenorrhea and infertility, which is amenorrhea means irregular periods. The link between PCOD and nutrition is actually very strong because PCOD, in many cases, 70% of the cases, is followed or goes hand in hand with a condition called insulin resistance, which is a precursor for diabetes. Basically, it means that the body has to secrete much more insulin than with a healthy person to maintain a certain, normal blood sugar levels. And with PCOD, basically, there's a direct connection between how well can you maintain your blood sugar and the frequency of and the intensity of your symptoms. Because whenever we tend to not maintain a good blood sugar level for any reason, we can have too large of a meal, too late, we can have an extra dessert, right? The blood sugar would spike, and then that would spike the insulin as well, because now the body needs to deal with that blood sugar. And whenever the insulin would spike, it would spike production of male hormones, because male hormones, they're also in the female body, and they promote growth and they promote fat storage, right? So whenever I have an excess of calories, an excess of energy, this is a time of plenty, and my body says, oh my God, so great, now I can put all of these calories in my pocket, I should make more testosterone. But when you make more testosterone as a woman that has PCOD, your body cannot deal with that, and it affects your female hormones, right? So then you get the acne, and then your cycles are off. And a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, PCOD, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, which means being obese, having high BP, and being prone to metabolic disease, comes together. And this is exactly where we intervene, so that instead of taking metformin, instead of taking drugs, or maybe in addition to them, right, you can manage this condition with nutrition that has zero side effects and only has benefits, and this should be, the first line of therapy. But most people, they just don't know what to do, and this is where we come in. So I hope I've explained the link. It's very, very important to maintain a normal body weight and BMI as a PCOD or a PCOS person. It depends if there's metabolic syndrome involved or not. And it's very important how you eat at home to actually keep this condition at bay, or even conceive. Some people, they have trouble to conceive. Diet to overcome anxiety and stop medicines. So stop medicines depends which medicines. Um, I don't think there are any particular foods that make you more at peace, from my experience. But what I do see on our programs a lot is people who abuse eating. So people eat out of stress, or people overeat, or people eat sugary things out of stress, or just during the day, and that really shoots up the sugar up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know how many people here, they have those cravings every day, right? I've had something sweet, and then an hour and a half later, I'm down and I want something sweet again. This is something that's called an insulin or a sugar spike, and that can actually give you mood swings as well. So this is something that can be dealt with by adding healthy snacks, healthy recipes into your daily routine. And of course, avoiding the things that would spike your blood sugar, and it takes a bit of time to kind of pinpoint what are those things for you. That we also do in our program. Um, and in terms of stopping medication, I'm not sure which medication was meant here, so therefore I can't really comment. But in our program, there is a doctor involved. And what we usually do with people, for example, with diabetics that are on medication or insulin, first of all, we don't touch their meds. because we want to do no harm, right? We want to see the sugars come down, right, or the condition resolve, and then we're going to adjust the dosage of medication or remove the medication, uh, if that is what the doctor decides, right? So we're working together with the physician, right, to actually make this person healthy, be it through nutrition or medication, right? As little medication as possible. I think doctors would also agree with this approach, right? But we don't ever, promise anyone, oh, come to us and you're going to be off meds like some people do, because it's understandable that the condition is varies between person to person, and we need to kind of assess the severity of the disease and how well it responds to nutritional therapy. Usually very well, but some cases still it has to be changed so that we can make the best decision for that person's health. Okay. I think that was okay. The last question is an alcohol question. Can we take 30 ml of alcohol daily? Well, the NHS, which is the British Health Association, they have an alcohol intake guideline of 2 portions per day. A 30 ml of 40 grade alcohol would be counting as 1 person. But then again, Britain has a big problem with alcohol consumption, and it's been proven that drinking casually 1 or 2 pegs a day can actually give you alcoholic fatty liver, which is the alcoholic version of the fatty liver. That's not a very good idea. That said, we all like to indulge sometimes, myself included. And what I'll do is I'll have red wine, because red wine doesn't only have the alcohol, it also have a lot of antioxidants and other beneficial substances in there, so that I know that I'm not only having alcohol, I'm actually doing something that's also good for my body, not just bad. Yes, okay. Thank you very much for participating, and hoping to see some of you with us. And if you have further questions, you can get to our website, and if you have further questions about how our programs are working, there's an option to talk to someone and get further details. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Madhura.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mr. Max.
Rajat,
Thank you, Ms.
sorry.
Madhura, and thank you, Ms. Pavit, Sova Health for such good deliberations. And I would also like to thank CA Raj Chawla ji for organizing this platform. And thank you all the viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.